Paddy Pimblett isn't promising a war. He isn't promising a 5-round chess match. He isn't even pretending this thing might get close. Instead, heading into UFC 324, the Baddy is putting it as bluntly as humanly possible. Someone's getting finished. And the crazy part? When you hear him say it, when you look at the matchup, the stakes, the styles, and the pressure, it sounds less like trash talk and more like an unavoidable reality. January 24 is the date circled in red, bold, and all caps on every MMA calendar. It's the night Paddy Pimblett steps into the cage with Justin Gaethje for the interim lightweight championship, a belt that instantly sets the winner up for a title unification showdown with Ilia Topuria in the summer of 2026. And for a guy who wanted that undisputed shot right away, Paddy isn't hiding his disappointment. But he's also not complaining, because in his words, it's simple. Beat Gaethje, grab the interim strap, and the path to the real title becomes undeniable. But here's the twist. Paddy isn't just hyping himself up. He's giving Gaethje all the respect you'd expect from someone about to share 30 feet of canvas with a man nicknamed The Highlight. Pimblett calls Gaethje a legend, praises the chaos he brings, and fully embraces the magnitude of fighting someone with that caliber of violence in his DNA. But then, without taking a breath, he flips the switch into full fight mode and admits what every fighter eventually has to say when the cage door shuts. Respect doesn't matter when fists fly, and Paddy is convinced he'll be the one handing out the beatdown. This is a matchup that almost feels engineered in a lab for pure violence. Justin Gaethje, statistically one of the most dangerous fighters in UFC history, a man who has never been in a boring fight, and the owner of a highlight reel that looks like it was edited by a pyromaniac. Across from him, Paddy Pimblett, unpredictable, confident, self-believing to the point of near delusion according to his critics, but undefeated in the UFC and stepping into the biggest moment of his career with a calmness that almost feels eerie. And maybe that's what stands out most. Pimblett isn't acting like a guy overwhelmed by the moment. He's acting like a guy who's been waiting for it. Even with the pressure of fighting in January, something he's never done before, Paddy is embracing the grind. He's talking openly about Christmas being miserable. No proper dinner, no desserts, no cheese, no crackers, no holiday relaxation. Instead, he's running long distances after everyone else finishes feasting, reminding himself over and over that the biggest fight of his life is 8 weeks away, and mistakes aren't an option. To him, this is an inconvenience. It's sacrifice. And sacrifice is what championship fights demand. But what makes this narrative so interesting isn't just Paddy's preparation, it's what this fight represents for both men. For Gaethje, this is the path back to another shot at gold after years of being close enough to taste it, but never fully holding it. He has the experience, the power, and the resume that make him the favorite on paper. For Pimblett, this is the night he proves whether he's more than hype, whether he's more than a personality, whether he's more than a social media phenomenon with an accent and a haircut that memes itself. This is the night he shows if he's championship material in the octagon, not just on the microphone. And Paddy knows exactly what the critics are saying. They say he hasn't fought someone like Gaethje. They say he's not ready for this jump. They say Gaethje's leg kicks will butcher him, the pressure will break him, and the striking disparity is too wide. But Paddy thrives in those doubts. He collects them like fuel and burns them into motivation. It's why he keeps repeating the same line with conviction: this fight isn't going the distance. And honestly, it's hard to disagree. Gaethje doesn't do decisions. Paddy doesn't back down. Both men throw with bad intentions, both men walk forward, and both men have something to prove that absolutely cannot be accomplished through a cautious, safe 5-round technical affair. Even their mindsets are aligned in one very specific way. They both think they're going to melt the other man in the center of the cage. Paddy knows the stakes stretch beyond just the belt. A win puts him in front of Ilia Topuria, the undefeated featherweight king who moved up to lightweight and immediately became one of the most dangerous names in the sport. That unification bout is guaranteed chaos, guaranteed money, and guaranteed headlines. But none of that exists if Pimblett can't walk through fire on January 24. To become champion in the UFC, especially at lightweight, you don't get shortcuts. You go through hell. And Paddy Pimblett is preparing for that exact scenario. The earliest fight camp of his life, the most disciplined diet of his career, a holiday season replaced with suffering, and a style matchup that promises pain before promise. But here's the thing, Paddy isn't afraid of that. He welcomes it. There's a confidence to his words, but not the loud, performative bravado people associate with him. This is calm confidence, focused confidence. A guy who genuinely believes he's entering his prime at the perfect time against the perfect opponent to announce himself to the world not as a prospect, but as a real, legitimate elite lightweight. And when you put all of that together, the prediction he keeps repeating suddenly makes sense. Someone's getting finished. Not as hype, not as trash talk, but as a fact. Because if Gaethje does what Gaethje always does, and if Pimblett rises to the occasion the way he believes he will, this fight might not even need 10 minutes. Two people who refuse to step backwards. Two people who want to prove something. Two people who understand exactly how high the stakes are and exactly what a finish means for their career, their legacy, and their future payday. UFC 324 is set to be the perfect storm. Interim lightweight gold, a legend versus a rising star, a guaranteed #1 contender spot for Topuria, and two men walking into the octagon knowing one of them isn't hearing the final horn. And Paddy Pimblett is making it very clear he's betting that the man still standing will be him.
When I feel like this, I'm immortal. 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 Don't I'm so gone, no, I'm never turning back. I won't stop, I'ma fight until there's nothing left. It's so on, you're gonna be hurting bad, cause I've been to hell and back. You don't wanna make me mad, I stay strong, you will never see me crack.